Hello friends and welcome back. Our today's experiment is to plot VI characteristics of SCR. SCR stands for Silicon Control Rectifier. Okay. SCR has 4 layers, PN device, and it has 3 junctions, J1, J2 and J3. Okay. So when we want to turn on this device, we have to apply positive at anode and negative at cathode. Okay. And at the same time we have to apply positive voltage at gate terminal, so that what happens when gate is positive, your device will trigger earlier. Without gate voltage also you can turn on the device, but it will require very high amount of voltage between anode and cathode. Okay. So from this table you can identify, suppose anode is positive and cathode is negative. Initially what happens, junction J1 and J3 are forward bias, but J2 is reverse bias. So due to this, current cannot flow through the device. So this state of the device is called as forward blocking state, and in this condition device is in off state, so current is almost zero. Okay. And when we apply gate voltage, what happens, this PN junction is forward bias. So what happens, all your junctions will get forward bias and your device will come into conduction, that is known as forward conducting state. Now your device is in on state. Okay. So now our today's experiment is to verify the operation of this device and plot VI characteristics for the same. Okay. Now so far as observation table is concerned, what we will do, we will apply some voltage between anode and cathode. Okay. At that time we will set some value of gate voltage and we will try to measure anode current for various values of anode to cathode voltage. Okay. Then what we will do, we will little bit increase the gate voltage and then again we will vary anode to cathode voltage and we will try to measure anode current. Okay. So friends, for this experiment we are using this experimental setup. So this is actually the circuit diagram. You can note down this circuit diagram. The list of components is available in the description, and this is the heart of this circuit, thyristor or SCR. So here I am using TYN612 thyristor. From here you have to apply gate voltage, and from here you have to apply anode voltage. Okay. And in order to measure gate current, we can connect ammeter over here, and in order to measure our main current, that is anode current, we have to connect ammeter over here. Okay. And in order to measure the voltage across the device, we can connect voltmeter over here. This voltage is in between anode and cathode, hence we call this as VAK. Okay. And this is the current limiting resistance. Okay. So this is of 3.3 kilo ohm circuit. This is control circuit and this is power circuit. So here we can use 10 kilo ohm resistance of 5 watt. Okay. And from the bottom side you can see that I have soldered all the components. So here basically you are using high wattage resistance to sustain high amount of current. This is your TYN612. Okay. Now in order to apply power source, we are using this DC power supply, dual channel regulated power supply. I have connected them in series. So this is 32 and this is 32. So in total I will get 64 volt in between these two terminals. Okay. And this DC power supply I am using over here to apply gate voltage. Okay. And in order to measure the current, I am using this multimeter. So here you can see that I have connected the red probe in milliampere connector. Okay. So this is acting as a, and here I have selected milliampere. So this is acting as a milliammeter. Okay. And this is acting as a voltmeter. Now let us start the experiment. So first we will connect the power source at the gate and anode. So first of all you have to turn off the power supply before doing any connections. Negative and positive over here. So gate voltage is applied. Okay. So I will connect over here. So power supply is connected. Now we will connect milliammeter and voltmeter. So voltmeter I am connecting over here to measure anode to cathode voltage. So friends, now you can see I have connected the voltmeter between anode and cathode. So this will give you VAK. Okay. And now we have two currents, IG and IA. Okay. So we are having only one ammeter. If you are having two ammeters, you can connect two ammeters. I am connecting the ammeter over here to measure anode current. Okay. And here I am not measuring gate current, so I will short this with the help of patch cord. So friends, now your experimental setup is ready. So first we will look at the observation table, what we need. So first of all we will set some value of gate voltage and then we will vary this anode to cathode voltage and we will try to note down anode current. So friends, now two things will happen. Initially what happens, J1 and J3 are on but J2 is off, so device will be in forward blocking state. So very small amount of current will flow through the device, that is nothing but leakage current of this reverse bias middle junction. Okay, and when you go on increasing the voltage at some particular voltage, what happens? All junctions will turn on and your device will start conducting, then your SCR will come into on state. Okay, so after that what happens? Voltage will drop and current will suddenly rise. So first of all, turn on both power supply. Okay, so friends, now we will do what? We will set some value of gate voltage. Suppose I am setting around 5 volt. Okay, and now I will go on increasing the anode to cathode voltage. So friends, initially you can see that anode to cathode voltage is increasing. Okay, but your current is not increasing because still your device is forward biased, but it is in forward blocking state, so it is in off state. So you can see that voltage is continuously increasing but current is not increasing. So we are at the maximum limit. So we have applied almost 32 plus 32 means almost 64 volt we have applied. Okay, but still current is not increasing. So this indicates that this much gate voltage is not sufficient to turn on the device. Okay, so we will increase this gate voltage and again we will go on increasing this anode to cathode voltage. If your device is not able to turn on, again we will increase the gate voltage. So this trial and error method you have to use. Okay, but I will tell you one short trick. You can identify at which gate voltage your device will trigger. Okay, so for that purpose what you have to do? First of all, set the gate voltage 0. Okay, and set some value of anode to cathode voltage. So friends, let us suppose we have set anode to cathode voltage 10 volt. Okay, now what I will do? I will go on increasing the gate voltage and I will observe the current. The value of gate voltage at which current increases, that is nothing but your threshold value of gate voltage, means minimum that much voltage you have to apply at the gate terminal. So friends, still your current is 0. Now you can see some fluctuation. It means now we are reaching at the threshold voltage. So the point at which your current suddenly rises, that is nothing but your threshold voltage. So friends, now you can see your current has suddenly increased. It means 10 volt of the gate voltage is nothing but your threshold value. Okay, so almost 10 volt you have to apply at the gate terminal to trigger this device. Okay, so friends, we have set the gate voltage at 9.8 volt. We have done some trial and error. Okay, and around 9.8 volt your device will trigger. So what we will do? We will go on increasing this anode to cathode voltage. Okay, and we will simultaneously measure the anode current. Okay, so now you can see, you can take in the steps of 5 volt. So at almost 5 volt you are getting 0.2 milliampere. So friends, here you can see we have noted all the readings in the observation table. So initially what you will find, we have increased the voltage in the steps of 5 volt and we have noted the value of current. So initially up to 33 volt what you will find, the value of current is not increasing or it is increasing at very slow rate. So this indicates forward blocking state. But what happens after 33 volt? What happens? Voltage suddenly decreases and current suddenly increases. So this indicates that our device is in on state. This condition is known as forward conducting state. So before 33 volt we are having forward blocking state where device is off, and after 33 we are having forward conducting state where device is in on condition. And 33.2 volt is nothing but our breakover voltage. So this is the case when we have applied 9.8 volt at the gate terminal. Now we will repeat the same process when we are applying 10 volt at the gate terminal. Okay, so friends, now we have revised the gate voltage to 10 volt and now your breakover voltage will reduce. So we will gradually increase the anode to cathode voltage. So friends, now you can see at almost 1 volt we are getting 0.3 milliampere. At 3 volt you are getting 0.33 milliampere. So friends, now you can see your voltage is increasing. So at 5 volt you are getting 0.37 milliampere. And now you can see that voltage has dropped and current has suddenly increased. It means your device is triggered. Okay. So friends, we have noted the readings. Now here you can see that when your gate voltage was 9.8 volt, your device was triggered at 33 volt, and when your gate voltage is 10 volt, your device is triggering at nearly 5 volt. Okay, so what happens after 5 volt? Your voltage suddenly drops and current suddenly rises. So in this way you can verify the operation of thyristor or SCR. Now we will try to plot VI characteristics of this. So friends, we have taken all the readings, okay, and you can see that our VGT means threshold value of gate voltage is nothing but 9.8 volt. Means this is the minimum voltage required to be applied at gate terminal to turn on this device, okay. And we have set the gate voltage at 9.8 volt, and at that time our VBO was 13.3 volt. So this was our breakover voltage. And when we have increased the gate voltage to 10 volt, you can see that there is drastical reduction in VBO. Here, when our gate voltage was 9.8 volt, our breakover voltage was around 33 volt. But when we have increased the gate voltage to 10 volt, our device has triggered at nearly around 5 volts. So in this way, by changing the gate voltage by very small amount, you can change the breakover voltage by very large amount, okay. And we have plotted the VI characteristics from these readings, okay. So VI characteristics of SCR are like this. So here you can see that initially very small amount of current flows through the device. This is nothing but leakage current, and this is your forward blocking state. But when your device crosses this breakover voltage, what happens? Your voltage suddenly reduces and current suddenly increases. So this is nothing but your forward conducting state, okay. And the current which you are getting when your device turns on, it is nothing but your latching current. So this is the minimum anode current flowing through the device when your device turns on. So this is around 31.8 milliampere, okay. So in this way you can verify the VI characteristics of SCR. And again, one thing you should remember, now here you can see that our voltage is less and current is larger. So this indicates that device is now in conduction state, okay. But the gate voltage is required only to turn on this device. Now once your device is in on state, even if you remove the gate supply, so what you can see, still your current is flowing through the device, means your device remains in on condition. So once your device is in on condition, there is no need of gate supply. So you can remove the gate supply. Even if your gate current is 0, your device will not turn off. So this is the beauty of using thyristor, okay. So thank you very much for watching this. If you are having any doubts or difficulties, please let me know in the comment section. And if you really like this, please press the like button and subscribe my channel. Thank you.